Testing. Testing. Hey, Thesis Research. Thank you for the resub. Glad to see you. So I will be recording this for YouTube. So, good afternoon, everybody. And welcome to another, I guess this will be Mad Meta, I suppose. Blue Tron's not exactly meta. But this is Dave's list. Terrick, Dave, Davrick, whatever you want to call him. Submitted a deck request, deck redemption here on stream. And requested Blue Tron, sent me their list. So, for the people hoping for a Tron fix, this will have to do for a minute, but this is what we got. Hey, Kefka, how's it going? So, interesting additions to this Tron list. We've got Fire and Ice and a light red splash with Riverglide Pathway / Steam Vents. We also have Divide by Zero, which has strangely, in the past, the few times that I've played Blue Tron, actually been good in this deck. The Learn, being able to discard and draw, is important, but also being able to get, we can get Mascot Expedition as a way to win the game, I guess. I'm actually going to, I need to cut something, because if I'm playing Divide by Zero, I want to be playing Environmental Sciences out of the sideboard. Because this card has actually been really good in Blue Tron. It helps you get back a little bit of life and also helps you make your land drops, which is real important. And I'm going to imagine Hurkyl's Recall I'm actually going to take out, because while Hurkyl's Recall is insane in the matchups that it's good in, it's useless in basically everything else. Built is it Merc Titan paper? Nice. How's it been treating you? Let's go ahead and jump in a league. A lot of fun to pilot and replaced your Blitz deck? Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I thought about going to the dark side and buying some Ragavans, but I can't justify spending $400 right this minute for a playset on Moto. Alrighty. Round one, here we go. Oh, the Porter Cam's broken again. Fun. You have a box of Modern Horizons 2 coming? Fingers crossed. Well, I hope, for your sake, it's not been repackaged Amazon style. I hope that your pulls are good, too. Alright, let's mulligan that. We can't keep a no-lander in Blue Tron. That would be suicide. I can keep this, however. And I think a second Remand is probably a bit excessive. Opponent starts on Sea Chrome Coast, Springleaf Drum, and it would be the one matchup I want Hurkyl's Recall in. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get totally wrecked because I doubted Dave's meta building, I doubted his sideboard powers. Stoneforge Mystic. Come on now. This is probably... Okay, so this is Blue-White Hammer. Oh my gosh. I am going to get so absolutely wrecked. Alright, play Lava Glide Pathway. Pass the turn. Yeah, that's right. Is it Tron? I mean, like, I could see him playing Spell Pierce. There's also a few, like, maybe they run Thoughtcast or Thought Monitor. Both of those would be reasonable in that deck. Sigarda's Aid. Alright, opponent goes to combat. Attacks. No blocks. And they are passing. We untap. We draw Warping Wail. Play an island. Pass the turn. This is a very, very awkward Tron opener. Okay, opponent is going to throw down a Colossus Hammer. And equip Stoneforge Mystic. So we need to fire the Mystic. Yeah. I guess I could have countered the hammer because they just cast it. That would have been smarter, wouldn't it? Sissia. Oh gosh, you know what that means. That means... Alright. Pass the turn. Sissia, how's it going? I was so locked into the fire play that I totally forgot I'm playing counter spells. Opponent plays a Cranial Plating. Suits up the Sentinel. Goes to combat. Gonna hit us for 6. We untap. We draw an Urza's Mind. Well, play another Tron land. Pass the turn. Opponent plays another Esper Sentinel. No worries, no worries. It was at an odd time. Let's go ahead and... I guess... No. They can have that Esper Sentinel. That's fine. They go to combat and attack power or toughness 1 or less. Oh, crap. I did not mean to make a Scion token. I somehow chose the wrong mode. I will not pay 7 to prevent that, but I will pay 1 to stop the other. I guess this technically gets around a target protection spell. Second hammer, suiting up the Ornithopter. Yeah, I needed to counter that using the Scion mana. Okay, so if I can stop punting to the moon for 2 seconds, we can do better. So let's see. What is bad against our opponent's deck? Remand is really bad. Worse than Dismember, at least. Repeal, Condescend, and Chalice are fine. I could put Ballista in the main deck, but I think we just run it back. Alright, we'll play first. Try and play a little slower, think a little better. Mine Tower, Power Plant, and Divide by 0. And a map. This might be too slow, but I think we gotta keep it. So we'll start Power Plant, map. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Esper Sentinel. We draw another Divide by 0. So play mine. Pass the turn.
So found out about something. Since day/night fall on Innistrad in all places, it technically is flat. So flat plane theory?
Flat Innistrad theorist? Oh, that's pretty good. I don't think the logistics of it having a day or night everywhere all at once has anything to do with the fact that it is flat or spherical, but that was a good one, you got me. Okay, so we leave up Divide by 0 this turn. Opponent plays a Memnite and cracks a Flooded Strand, goes to combat, and attacks for 2. We'll take 2. I'm gonna Divide by 0 Stoneforge Mystic. Even though it gives them the most value, it does make them pay the most mana. I'm going to discard Riverglide Pathway and draw. Mascot Exhibition and Environmental Science don't really help us here. We need to draw something out of the deck. Repeal is actually really good. And we draw Blast Zone of all things, which is also pretty good. So I think what we do is we play Urza's Tower. We have Tron assembled. Now we pass the turn. Opponent makes a Construct. Sure. They untap. Saga taken up to 3. They float mana. They get a Springleaf Drum. They play another Esper Sentinel, which I think is fine. They play a land. They play Sigarda's Aid, and they play a Cranial Plating. And they are going to attach Cranial Plating to Esper Sentinel, which, if I repeal, they can either replay or they can just re-equip. I could Divide by 0 and put Cranial Plating on the top of, or back in their hand. That's not that bad, because they can't replay it. And as a bonus, I can stop them from drawing by paying for the Esper Sentinel's costs. The unset's most likely on a cube-shaped plane. What gives you that idea? You know, I entirely forgot they were holding a hammer. It's just... Oh my god. Oh, this is... Yep. Wow. We are 15 minutes and 3 punts in. I am so sorry, Terrick. I absolutely blew that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to restart Moto and I'm gonna put my game face on. Probably the correct move, instead of assembling Tron there, was to play out Blast Zone and just wait. But if we had survived that turn, because, you know, I paid attention, we could have played Blast Zone and literally wiped all the 1-drops off the board. We needed another blue source anyway, but what I was going for in that last game was to play out Shark Typhoon and then play a spell. Like, actually play it, not just cycle it. And I think that was wrong. Restarting Moto is like turning Kano off and on again to make him play better. Yeah. Kind of. Well, if I keep playing like this, I will have time to get to 2 leagues today. Goodness. Alright, well, we have Tronland map into Steamvent's Condescend, and follow that up with maybe a Thirst for Knowledge. I think we can keep this. It's not the greatest hand on the draw, but blue Tron on the draw isn't that fantastic. We are against a Luris deck. Opponent leads on Blood Crypt Thoughtseize. They take my Expedition map. Draw Wurmcoil Engine. So, gonna play Steam Vents, pass the turn. Pona plays a Polluted Delta, cracks Polluted Delta, gets a Watery Grave untapped. This is probably a Death Shadow. Yep, it's a Death Shadow. I need my Warping Wails. We draw Tolaria West, which is kind of the opposite of a good card right now. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Bauble. They bauble our top deck. They play an Expressive Iteration, which we will counter. You know, it's like they thought seized me and should have known that I had that card, so... Misty to the bottom, Urza's Mine to the top. Man, opponent's playing worse than I am. That's saying something. Nothing against my opponent. I'm just playing like garbage. Okay, we get Urza's Mine. Play Urza's Mine. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Scalding Tarn. Yeah, restarting did do something. It put me in the loser's bracket. Opponent cracks Scalding Tarn. Gets a Steam Vent, shocks to 9. I mean, if we can get this Thirst for Knowledge off and we draw Power Plant, you're golden, really. But if that doesn't happen, we are in trouble. And I've got a feeling they've got a Stubborn Denial. And maybe I should have Thirst for Knowledge main phase because of that when they were tapped out. Dress Down. Okay, so they're going to hit me for 13 because of this? Guess we'll go ahead and Thirst. We do draw the Power Plant. So we're going to discard Divide by Zero and Tolaria West. I mean, if we're not dead, we can play Sundering Titan and get rid of all of their lands, which would be pretty funny. So we get hit for 13 and go to 6. Alternatively, we can play Wurmcoil Engine and repeal Death Shadow. I feel like the Sundering Titan play is safer. So let's go Power Plant. Sundering Titan, Swamp, Island, Mountain. Pass the turn. Ever consider doing Pauper videos? Don't see many people talk about it on Moto. I do not enjoy playing Pauper, which is why I don't. I know a lot of people do, it's just not my speed. We draw Expedition Map, play an Urza's Tower. Let's go ahead and repeal Death Shadow. Then play Wurmcoil Engine. We'll go get, I guess, another tower. Go to combat, hit them for 7. They untap. Actually, you know what, Sissia, you gave me an idea. If anybody watching this, or watching the VOD later, or watching this on YouTube, has an idea for a fun Pauper deck that is not Pauper Tron, because I don't like Pauper Tron. If you have an idea for a fun Pauper deck that is more my speed, something janky, maybe combo or weird, post a link to a list. You might get automatically moderated if you're in YouTube comments, so you can send it to my email, which is on my YouTube page. Or you can join the Discord and send me a link there. And if it looks fun, I can try doing a Pauper video. I'm not going to make any adjustments. I'm just going to run it back. In theory, I may want Dismember, but the life loss is really going to hurt. We got 2/3 of Tron, a 3-mana answer, and a Blast Zone. Sure. You know what? We're going to keep it. Red-blue land destruction bounce deck. That could be fun. At least in Pauper, I wouldn't have to play against Ragavan, so it's got that going for it. Opponent leads on Bauble. Baubles themselves. Plays a Watery Grave. We untap. They draw a card. Draw Ulamog. Play Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. It's possible I should have just been playing out Tron lands, seeing that draw. Because we're probably gonna need to assemble Tron quicker, but we'll see. Okay, opponent plays Dragon's Rage Channeler. We untap. We draw Remand. Play an Urza's Mine. Pass the turn. I've played that deck in Modern before. It's fun. The problem is recouping all the card advantage you lose. You just like straight card disadvantage. It also doesn't work in Modern because everyone plays really broken 1-drops. So, like, they play a 1-drop that's broken, and you bounce a permanent on turn 2 and nothing happens, so. Okay, opponent hits us for 1. Then passes. We draw Condescend. Play a tower. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. I mean, the worst thing you can do is post it in the Discord and I'll say it doesn't look like fun for me to play. But If you've got a list and you want to show it off, you can do that. And I promise I would at least look. No juego Mindslaver. No recuerdo cómo se dice lo opuesto de rápido, pero Mindslaver no es muy rápido. Okay, we untap. We draw Treasure Mage. Play Blast Zone. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Polluted Delta. I mean, if they're just going to chip at us one life at a time, we're probably fine. And if we can get to where we can cast a threat alongside a counterspell, it would be fantastic. Opponent plays Expressive Iteration. I can Condescend this. That would be much better than Divide by Zero or Remand, although this does fall into the Stubborn Denial trap. I think I'm still going to do it. Hey, Silver, how's it going? Porter Cam is currently on the fritz again, and he's not down here anyway. Are they trying to drown in the lock my Condescend when I have no cards in the grave? I think they are. Yes. Creo que tú tienes razón. Is how you say that? Sé un poquito español, pero no tengo un vocabulario muy grande. Oh, that's good. For those of you that don't know, I do know a little bit of Spanish. Not a ton, though. Alright, opponent hits this for 3. We untap. Draw Riverglide Pathway. Okay, since we don't have another Tron land, what I'm going to do here is play Riverglide Pathway and pass the turn. I'm glad you weren't here for the first game, Silver. I played so badly. I could have tried to play Treasure Mage there. Actually, I probably should have. Because if I played Treasure Mage there, I could just play Wurmcoil next turn. But I wasn't thinking. I was thinking about using Divide by Zero and Remand. Okay. Opponent is going to attack us for 3. Go no blocks. Take 3, go to 12. Okay, opponent is going to play Alpine Moon, which is fine. Because we have Blast Zone, and if they name Blast Zone, that's also fine, because we have Divide by Zero. And if they... Yeah, I think this is fine. Alpine Moon, definitely better against Green Tron. Maybe 2 Blast Zone as main is a good idea for this meta. Oh, your English is fine. I think my English is worse. I'm playing a list someone requested, so... You might be right, though. And now opponent has to think. Oh, that's true. The joke is I can't read. Opponent names Urza's Tower. I think they're trying to get me to crack Blast Zone. And I think I will here, actually. Okay, we draw Gemstone Caverns. We'll play the other tower. Pass the turn. We're in the same position we were before, so let's do it right this time. Play Treasure Mage. Opponent can't drown in the lock because it's CMC3, and we have Remand backup anyway. Yeah, I get Wurmcoil Engine. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent bolts the Treasure Mage. Not sure why that was necessary, but okay. They could just be trying to get cards in my graveyard in hopes that they can counter Wurmcoil. Like, if they have Thought Scour and can Thought Scour me... if they play something that forces me to Remand, and then they Thought Scour me, they could Thoughtseize... Well, they can just Thoughtseize Wurmcoil, too. That works. Okay, well, we have to let them. That is quite unfortunate. They take Wurmcoil, because they basically can't answer that card otherwise. I imagine what they do here is put Lurrus into their hand. No, they still want to leave up Drown in the lock. Okay. We untap. We draw Tolaria West. I mean, that works. Although, if I transmute now, I will not have a counterspell on my opponent's turn. But that doesn't matter. We can go get power plant. Is the punt counter per stream? No, it's cumulative between streams. Tron Storm is fun to play in Pauper. I have never heard of such a thing. Is that the deck that Ghostly flickers? So next turn we're casting an Ulamog. I think you use the Tron for the mana. It wouldn't be wrong, judging by the beginning of this stream. I've only punted 3 times this stream, and it was in the first 15 minutes. Oh, dear. Alright, opponent's playing a thing that is 4 mana. Turok, Dreadcanter, Kicked. I swear. Alright, they hit the 2 spells that don't matter. Whew, was that close? If I didn't deprive you guys of the time I accidentally mulliganed twice, I'm not going to deprive you of me just playing poorly. Okay, we draw an expedition map. So, play map, crack map, get another tower, play Ulamog, take out Turok and Blood Crypt, pass the turn, leave up Remand, and opponent scoops the match. Sweet. Still don't have any victory sounds. Alright, on to round 3. Okay, round 3, here we go. I would like to play first. This is not the worst hand. I'm going to keep this. Fire and Ice is actually pretty important. If I don't think I'm going to need to Fire and Ice, my second land is going to be Hall. If I feel like I'm going to have to fire, then my second land will be Lava. So lead on Urza's Mine, pass the turn. Opponent leads on Plains into Soul's Attendant. Okay. Play Riverglide Pathway, pass the turn. Opponent plays Cavern of Souls, names Cleric, plays an Auriok Champion. Okay, so we're going to fire, kill Soul's Attendant so they don't gain any life, ping them for 1. We untap, we draw Expedition map. So play Hall, play map, pass the turn. I really hope this is not a prismatic ending. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, opponent plays a Soul's Attendant, gains a life, hits us for 1. We draw an island, so play an island. Could go get Ensnaring Bridge. Walking Ballista would also be good. That'd be a way to answer Auriok Champion. So we are playing Karn. The question is, what are we getting? I think we get Ensnaring... No, Ensnaring Bridge we're never going to turn on, because these are only 1/1s. So we got to get Walking Ballista. Okay, pass the turn. You're funny, Silver. Opponent is probably trying to cast a non-cleric with a cleric cavern. Welcoming Vampire. Whenever 1 or more other creatures with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only 1 each turn. That seems pretty good. So they attack Karn for 2. We untap. We draw Riverglide Pathway. So play Riverglide Pathway. Uptick Karn to 2. Play Ballista X1. They gain 1 life, or they gain 2 life. Oh, that's right. Sissia won that. Right at the end of the last stream. Alright, opponent plays another Welcoming Vampire. I'm going to divide by 0 and bounce this one. This way they don't draw a card. Now I can get Environmental Science or Mascot Expedition. I think the play is to ditch Ulamog. Okay, Repeal is excellent. Honestly, I think the triggers once each turn text should have been on a lot more cards a lot sooner. So opponent attacks Karn for 2. Block here. Ping down Auriok Champion. We untap. We draw a tower. A tower is good. I can wish for Wurmcoil Engine. If they're playing Path, that's gonna hurt. I can just uptick and use Repeal to get rid of this Welcoming Vampire. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Pass the turn. I'm 1 mana away from activating Hall of the Storm Giants and having it on defense. Opponent plays Norin the Wary. Okay, let's go ahead and repeal Welcoming Vampire so they don't draw any cards. We draw Thirst for Knowledge. Opponent gains 1 life. Oh, why did I discard Ulamog? I might need it to mill my opponent out. Oh gosh. Alright, well, opponent plays Soul's Attendant. Gonna gain a bunch of life. They can hit Karn for 1. Take him down to 2. We untap. We draw Remand. So let's thirst for knowledge. I think we gotta discard Wurmcoil, actually. Play Riverglide Pathway. Uptick Karn. I mean, being corrupted Phyrexian style would be pretty awful. They're gonna attack Karn for 2. That's fine. Karn goes down to 1. And they play a Welcoming Vampire. Let's go ahead and Condescend. See if we can't get the power plant. Another Karn and an Expedition map. So Karn, what is in my sideboard still? There's some good stuff in that sideboard still. We need to shuffle, so we'll just put it on the bottom and draw Expedition map. Okay, opponent gets back Norin the Wary. We untap. We draw Expedition map. Play map. Crack map. Get power plant. Play power plant. Play Ugin. -1, game's over. Alright. So versus our opponent's deck. Soul Sisters. No sideboard. I mean, to be fair, straight up dying is probably better than becoming a Phyrexian. So, if I had to guess, because by a lot of people's definitions, both Phyrexia and New Phyrexia are actually kind of described as a hell of flesh and metal. So, I think straight up death would be better. This hand is not good versus our opponent's deck. Maybe. They are kind of slow. Let's keep. Opponent plays Marsh Flats, fetches, shocks a Sacred Foundry, plays Norin. We untap, draw Divide by 0, play Hall of the Storm Giants, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains, passes, they got nothing. Play a Power Plant, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains and plays Ranger Captain of Eos. Eos? However you say that. Getting a Soul Warden. We untap. Draw Urza's Tower. Play Urza's Tower. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. Goes to combat. Attacks us for 3. Flickers Norin. They're going to say we can't cast non-creature spells this turn. Sure. They really want to resolve something. Blood Moon. That is irritating, because we don't have our basic. So give ourselves a 1/1. We get Fire and Ice, so we at least can cast that. And we'll still be able to play Karn. We draw Shark Typhoon. Play Misty. Play Karn. Flicker Norin. Wish with Karn. Chalice of the Void might be in order. Wurmcoil Engine will definitely win the game. I'm going to take Liquimetal Coating. Okay, opponent plays an Auriok Champion. Does not attack. We untap. Draw Thirst for Knowledge. Play Riverglide Pathway. Play Liquimetal Coating. Flicker Norin. Blow up a mountain. This is to stop them from doing Prismatic Ending for 2. It still lets us leave up fire. They're going to path their own Soul Sister, but they're not waiting to gain the 1 life off Norin first. I guess that lets him come back faster. Okay, opponent gains a life. They untap. They play a Godless Shrine, which is just a mountain. Prismatic Ending. That's fine. It's what I didn't want to happen, but I can just wish for it again if I really need it. Opponent is playing Path. That is worth noting. We untap. We draw Condescend. Wish. Let's go get Wurmcoil Engine. Play Riverglide Pathway. Play Wurmcoil Engine. Flicker Norin. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Opponent plays a Soul Warden. Gains more life. Gains more life. We untap. We draw an island. There it is. Play an island. Uptick. Go to combat. Attack for 6. Flicker Norin. Opponent not gonna block. Pass the turn. Norin comes back. Opponent gains some life. Opponent plays a Welcoming Vampire. I will Condescend this. Game over. Alright, we're 2-1, despite my horrible playing earlier. Let's go ahead and restart the client, and we'll go on to the next round. Alright, round 4. And I would like to play first. Against a Yorion deck, we have 2/3 of Tron and 2 Warping Wails. I think I will keep this. We are on the play, so play Power Plant. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Misty into a Snow-Covered Forest and Abundant Growth. We draw Shark Typhoon, play an Urza's Tower, pass the turn. I will Warping Wail to make a Scion on my opponent's end step if they don't do anything. We draw Fire and Ice. Go to combat, attack for 1. Okay, opponent flashes in an Ice Fang Quaddle, and they are willing to trade. That's fine. So this is like Bant Flicker, basically. Or 5-color Flicker. Another Abundant Growth. Opponent passes. We untap. We draw Riverglide Pathway. So play Riverglide Pathway, pass the turn. I think it's more likely that we need to cast Ice than it is that we cast Fire right now. How do they always have duplicates in Yorion decks like that? How come whenever I play Yorion, I always draw the 20 worst cards in the deck? How do I get better luck, please? Spreading Seas. I mean, that's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Opponent goes to combat. They attack for 1. Let's go ahead and cycle a Shark Typhoon for 1. And block. We draw another Shark Typhoon. Untap. We draw another Urza's Tower. Play it. I don't know what the odds that my opponent has a counterspell is, but it's gotta be pretty high. I think we just pass, rather than try and slam Karn here. Opponent plays a Prairie Stream. Oh, I'm glad to see that land is seeing some play, because I think those lands are really good. Opponent plays Big Teferi. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I think the goal here is to tap one of the lands that they leave untapped. So like if they untap Mystic Gate Island, or Mystic Gate Snow-Covered Forest. Okay. Well, they weren't that good. I'm going to ice one of their lands. Oh, then I can ice the other land. I'm really hoping to draw a land here so I can just Pithing Needle Big Teferi. We draw an island and we draw a Treasure Mage. So play an island, play Karn, Wish. Oh, I'm against Aspiring Spike. Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle. Hero of Dominaria. Opponent untaps, plays Jace, the Mind Sculptor. Brainstorms, plays a Windswept Heath. We untap, we draw another Karn. Let's go ahead and Wish for Coating. And pass the turn. Okay, opponent cracks Windswept Heath. If they flash in another Ice Fang, I was going to say we need a Warping Wail. So, shut off Jace. Planeswalkers! They're going to bounce Pithing Needle. There's not a lot I can do about that. And they are going to tuck Karn. That lets them brainstorm. Yeah, I'm probably not going to beat 3 active Planeswalkers. Opponent shocks a Hallowed Fountain. They're going to Spreading Seas another tower. Okay. Well, on their end step, cycle Shark Typhoon. We draw a Warping Wail. We draw a Blast Zone. I could try playing Shark Typhoon, but I don't think that's good. Blast Zone on 2 to get rid of Spreading Seas might do something good, maybe. I don't have any real counter spells, so let's replay Pithing Needle. Okay, play a Blast Zone, play Karn. They have Force. I guess they did draw a whole heck of a lot of cards. I mean, even if I had counter spells, they still have 3-mana Teferi sitting on board. Alright, I guess if you just have everything. Alright, so I suppose I want Mystical Dispute in this matchup. Warping Wail is less good, so I'll take that out. Okay. I would like to play first. Hopefully we can Tron them out of the game. This is not a very Tron-y Tron hand, so we're going to mulligan. Oh, just my luck. Alright, I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to put back Divide by 0. Players is mine, pass the turn. Hopefully no Spreading Seas, and then we just, like, draw the final Tron land. I mean, if they do Spreading Seas me, then I'll have access to blue mana. That's kind of nice. Play an Urza's mine, pass the turn. The nice thing about this is we are blue Tron, so... Opponent plays a Misty Rainforest, cracks it. Abundant Growth, that's fine. So pass to their end step. Thirst for Knowledge. Dovin's Veto. Okay, we untap. We draw Karn, Great Creator. Play Karn. And I think we just gotta go for Coating. I'm not sure what else we can do against them, really. Okay, opponent shocks a Temple Garden. 4 mana, different colors. Okay, Prismatic Ending Karn. That's really good. We draw another Karn. Play Karn. Wish. I'm gonna go with Needle. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Mystic Gate. Little Teferi. Down tick to bounce Spreading Seas. They're gonna take me off blue mana. Right as we draw Condescend. Alright, play Coating. Dovin's Veto. Wish again. Guess I'll get a Ballista. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent upticks to Fairy. We draw a Riverglide Pathway. It may have been correct for me to actually just kill Teferi immediately, because I completely forgot that Teferi's got the writer text that I can't cast spells at instant speed, which is a big problem. And my opponent almost certainly has a million ways to kill this Ballista. Alright, go to combat. Attack Teferi. Opponent cracks Flooded Strand. They're going to play Solitude. Let's go ahead and put a counter on Ballista. How does he have everything all the time? Okay. I mean, we're basically screwed now, but... Teferi Time Raveler. Pass the turn. They Spreading Seas my tower. Put Yorion into their hand, so they'll kill Karn. We untap. We draw Divide by 0. Bounce to Fairy. I'm going to discard Repeal, actually. And get Tolaria West. I'm going to play it rather than transmute it. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks Windswept Teeth for a Breeding Pool. Opponent replays to Fairy. I guess I can at least Ice Solitude and draw a card. Draw Thirst for Knowledge. Opponent plays Yorion. So they can flicker Abundant Growth and draw a card. They can also flicker Spreading Seas and draw a card. Okay. We untap. We draw Thirst for Knowledge. Well. Thirst for Knowledge. Discard Mystical Dispute and Remand. Thirst for Knowledge. Discard Mystical Dispute, Condescend. Pass the turn. Was really hoping for some lands. I've only drawn like 9 additional cards on turn 9. Haven't found any lands. There's another Planeswalker. Okay. So, like, the only hope I have of winning is somehow resolving a Miracle Ugin. The odds of which is practically nil. Okay. Pass the turn. So we're going to cycle Shark Typhoon on my opponent's turn. Opponent brainstorms. Plays a Prismatic Vista, shuffles away all their cards. Goes to combat. They attack us for 8. We go to 5. So on their end step, cycle Shark Typhoon. We draw Blast Zone. It is an untapped land at the very least. So go to combat. Alright, concede. Can't beat it. Alright, on to round 5. See you guys there. Aspiring Spike is very good at the game and tends to play really good decks. So, a much better player than I am, that's for sure. Alright. Well, we're 2-2. Let's see if we can't get our entry back in round 5. Should we set a poll for this one? Sure. You guys want to bet skulls? You can bet skulls. You even get the benefit of seeing my opening hand, if you want it, across the next 2 minutes. Go ahead and place your bets. Let me think. Only playable cards, Warping Wail. I think I got a mulligan. This is substantially better, as long as we don't get hit with a prismatic ending. Opponent starts with a snow-covered mountain. Could this be the legendary Skred? Skred might be a tough matchup, but it would at least be fun, I think. Nobody's betting on me to lose? Really? That's like free points. Your arbitrary internet currency. Alright, pass the turn. You know what would have really struck fear in my heart there is if I got end step smelted. Play at Urza's Tower. Pass the turn. If this is a Blood Moon, I have to map for Island, I think. It is. Alright, let's go get an Island. Blood Moon resolves. We draw a Riverglide Pathway, play an Island. Pass the turn. Koth. It's looking like Skred. Or whatever passes for Skred these days. Opponent goes to combat. Hits us for 4. And if we can draw a Power Plant, that'd be excellent. We did not draw a Power Plant. Play Blast Zone. Pass the turn. Got a feeling I'm going to get Koth to death. Opponent stomps our face. Untaps a mountain. So really my only chance here is to bounce Blood Moon on their end step and get Ugin onto the battlefield. And they play Bone Crusher. I could bounce Koth to stop him from ulting next turn, but I would tap out for that, and it doesn't deal with the Blood Moon situation, so this is really my only out. We get a Thirst for Knowledge. We draw Tolaria West, which unfortunately is slightly too slow. Thirst for Knowledge. Alright, we cannot beat an active Koth ult, so this is on to game 2. 2 people bet on me winning, and nobody bet against me, so if I lose, you guys just lose your points. Really cranking up the pressure. Let's go ahead and I think we just run it back. I think we like all of the cards in our main deck versus this opponent. That hand is not keepable. This one is. I'd be putting back Treasure Mage here. Why did my volume turn back on? Okay. I'm going to put back Treasure Mage here. Let's go ahead and start with Island. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Mountain and Skirk Prospector. That could just be a Lotus Petal for Blood Moon situation. Either way, I'm not scared of it. Play Riverglide Pathway. Pass the turn. That or there's like some crazy goblin mana cheese here. It's not my birthday, Terrick, but yes, it's your list. We're in the final match. And we're down a game. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play a mountain. They're going to play a Seasoned Pyromancer, which I am going to immediately counter. Okay, Warping Wail to the bottom. Urza's Mine to the top. We untap. Draw Urza's Mine. Play it. Pass the turn. And I'm going to ice a land, because I really want to draw, and I don't want my opponent playing powerful red 3-drops. What would Goblin Mana Cheese taste like? Ratchet Bomb. Can I just decline to answer your question? Because I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to ice Faceless Haven, see what I draw, and then I might ice another mountain. Draw an Ugin. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and ice another mountain. What do Goblin consider cheese? What even do Goblins consider cheese? Probably anything that's not quite solid and not quite liquid. 2 Skirk Prospectors. Well, I used all my fires, so... We drew an Urza's Tower, so we play it. Pass the turn. I mean, if they don't have a land, I can counter a Blood Moon. Charging up that Ratchet Bomb. I don't know what they would set Ratchet Bomb to. Maybe 4 for... Well, no, because Karn Great Creator would just shut it off. Hey, no worries. It's Koth. Counter Koth. We'll just pay all of our mana. There's no Simian Spirit Guide left in this format, but you never know, right? Mine, Tower. We don't need another mine, although we do need a land. It's bottom. Opponent hits us for 2. We go to 18. They charge up Ratchet Bomb to 3. Still don't know what they're trying to Ratchet Bomb. We go to 18. Untap. We draw the Power Plant. Play Power Plant. We gotta go Ugin here, don't we? Yeah, I put in autocomplete and I didn't pay attention. Shoot a Prospector. Pass the turn. Opponent scoops. Alright, we're on to game 3. Run it back. Yeah, Terrick, I'm sorry I doubted you, but I took Hurkyl's Recall out of the side for Environmental Sciences, and round 1 was Hammer. So it's just like immediate regret. So that was entirely my bad, and everything else that followed was my bad. Punts 8 when I joined the stream. It's a cumulative counter across streams, but many of them were put on during this stream. Now you know what it's there to help against? I was like, there's no affinity in this format. Oh, it's the other artifact spam deck, Kano. I'm gonna need an ultra-wide monitor to watch these streams soon. Oh my gosh. Hey, T-Rex, how's it going? And Saga Tokens? Saga Tokens is reasonable. If I were to play this again immediately after, I'd put Herx back in. Dress Down is good for Saga Tokens, too. Yeah, that's another card that I've heard has been overperforming in blue. It's something that I continually forget exists, too. Well, we're 2-2 and 1-1 right now, so we can win our entry back if I win this game on the draw versus Skred. So, I mean, we've basically lost already, right? But I'll try my best. Treasure chest, treasure chest. Alright, Skred should be a good matchup. It doesn't feel that hard. This is a weird build, though, that's running Skirk Prospectors to power out turn 2 Blood Moons. Well, I can't keep a no-lander versus Skred. Alright, I will keep this. Ooh, I've got Gemstone Caverns, too. That means I put back Divide by 0, and we get rid of Tower. This does mean we can counter a turn 2 Blood Moon. Have faith, Kano, we need those skulls. We draw Ugin. Play Power Plant, pass the turn. I mean, if this is a turn 3 Ugin, it definitely will win. But we've got to either scry into mine while dodging a Blood Moon, or there's a Blood Moon. Condescend your Blood Moon. Thirst for Knowledge, and Divide by 0. I kind of want both of these, but really I think it's only correct to keep one. We'll put Thirst on top because I really want to draw cards. Play Tower, play Map. So if they don't play a second Blood Moon, we can map for the last Tron land, play Ugin. If they do play a second Blood Moon, we can map for an island. Should have kept Divide by 0. I think we go island here. Because there's no guarantee they won't... Like, getting the last Tron land would be great, because we could draw a bounce spell, even though I just scried one to the bottom. And then, like, maybe we can bounce and then play Ugin. But I think getting an island is better, in the case that they have another Blood Moon. So I think getting island is the correct play here. And if they had a second Blood Moon, there's no guarantee... There's no guarantee they would have played it that turn, because we were representing more Condescend mana. So it's possible that they played that instead of a Blood Moon. So, okay, Wurmcoil Engine is a good plan. Pass the turn. We're not that far off of Wurmcoil Engine. Opponent has no clock, and we're at 20 life. Okay, they can now start animating Faceless Haven if they have nothing else to do. Thirst for Knowledge. We do get an Urza's Mine. So I can either discard Remand and Misty, or I can discard Wurmcoil. I could keep both lands and Wurmcoil and discard Remand Ugin. Just guarantee I can play a 6-drop. Yeah, I'm thinking I keep Wurmcoil. So I'm going to discard Ugin and Misty. I kind of want access to a Remand here. In theory, we play 23 lands and we've drawn a few cards. We should draw a 6th land. Hope I don't eat my words. Like, Bounce Spell is fine. 6th land is fine. I don't know. I just don't want to, like, run into a giant dragon or something next turn. Discarding Remand was probably the play. Let's hope it's not a punt. Opponent is holding priority on their end step. They don't want to let it go. Stomp my face. Okay. We untap. We draw Riverglide Pathway. Perfect. Players is mine. Pass the turn. It's true, I've not really seen anybody else playing Blue Tron, but I also have not kept up on like anything Magic related over my my break, my holiday break I took. I'll be pretty happy if we can clinch this victory. Okay, so opponent's going to cast Bone Crusher. I can Remand this and draw a card, and they can stomp again. I think that's fine, because I would rather them do that than basically anything else. We can Remand Giant, but it just goes back to their hand. It's not like remanding a flashback spell like that. We draw another Expedition map. Okay, we untap. We draw Warping Wail, play Riverglide Pathway, and here comes the Wurmcoil Engine. Pass the turn. So they have Bone Crusher Giant, 3 unknowns. They play Boros Reckoner. Whenever Reckoner is dealt that much damage, it deals that much damage to any target. We get an Ulamog. Okay, so we play map here, and we map for Blast Zone. Play Blast Zone. Now, if I attack with Wurmcoil, they can shoot Wurmcoil for 6. I mean, that splits it up. The other possibility... No, that doesn't work. I was going to say the other possibility is they have Bolt, and can give it first strike, but they actually can't do that this turn. I think we do attack here. Nice, T-Rex. Nice. Okay, we go up to 22, pass the turn. Now we really have to dodge a Blood Moon. Okay, they play Bone Crusher. Yeah, how many drafts was it? It was pack number 115 or something like that I got a Ragavan. Doing all those Horizons drafts. Oh, man. Okay, put Blast Zone on 2. We untap. We draw Repeal. That does make my life a bit easier. We're just going to pass. No attacks. We're going to set up for an Ulamog. We're going to clear the board with Ulamog, and then that should be game. Opponent plays Eternal Scourge. That is fine. Well, don't go celebrating just yet. I am a person who can snatch defeat from the jaws of victory like no other. Take 3. On my opponent's end step, we will Repeal. Damping Sphere. Draw another Urza's Mine. There's no reason to tick up. Untap. Draw Steam Vents. Play Urza's Mine. Play Ulamog. Exile the 2 relevant creatures. I mean, we have Warping Wail if our opponent has, I don't know, Iron Crag Feet into Worldfire. Like, so we should be okay. That's the only thing I can think of that would get rid of Ulamog. And the game is over, and we get a treasure chest. Alright. Let's see what we get. 10 play points, and Modern Horizons 2 Unplayable Rare. Well, the good news is, hey, you know, at least we went positive. There's always something to be said about that. Don't make sideboarding choices like Kano makes sideboarding choices in deck building, because that's how you'll take out cards that will win you games. So, for memes that you'd never play. Absolutely. If you're playing on Moto, you think you might run into Hammer, play Hurkyl's Recall. I did win. So those of you that bet victory, get your points back, because nobody bet against you.